80% of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's gotta be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no obligation in-home consultation.
Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, fun trip to Atlantic City. It's always a fun trip to Atlantic City, but it was a great time last week. Got to see some places that we haven't been to lately.
Well, you know, it's always fun in Atlantic City, always seeing how they create new amenities for for people coming down there, not just the boardwalk, but the casinos and some of the other places there.
There were two things I wanted to try. First, the yard at Bally's. Yes. We were there when it first opened a couple of months ago, but the outside wasn't open.
Right.
So we got to eat lunch in the outside, huge bar, incredibly big stage, and really great food. And it was great to see what they did with that space.
Well, I remember when we were down there for the grand opening of the new Bally's.
Yeah.
And we did all the 3 different ribbon cuttings, the beach bar, the Revolution bar, the 360 bar.
360, yeah.
360
the
bar.
bar that went around.
Yeah, it revolves, which that's still an interesting feeling when you're sitting there.
Yeah.
But the yard is just amazing. And when we were there at the grand opening at the ribbon cutting, the greenhouse part of it, I guess that's what you can call it.
It's a huge greenhouse.
That was still under construction. Mm-hmm. And I was very curious to see how that developed. And they did a really great job there. The bar looks pretty cool there. Huge stage.
Yeah,
huge stage.
Yeah, so.
The one thing I thought was very interesting, and I'm wondering when they're going to unveil these, so table games.
Oh, yeah, when you first walk in,
inside the actual main bar part.
Yeah.
I don't know if
they might be using them right now. We just went for lunch, and they weren't
They were covered still.
Yeah, so.
And I'm not sure what exactly games are there. I mean, they could be anything for all we know. They could be blackjack tables. They could be poker table, whatever they are. But they had table games. I hope they're just not using that for storage. I'm hoping people are actually playing the games.
I'm sure it's not.
So, but again, that was an interesting addition. Yeah. They didn't talk about that in the grand opening part of it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's a new development to get more people.
Oh, the table game things and the okay, yeah. And you know, the second place I wanted to see is the new sports book at Ocean Resort. What do they call it? The gallery.
The gallery, bar, book, and gaming.
Okay, yeah. They took out, I guess, the center part where the seats were.
Yes.
They created an inclined bar. Is that the right term? I don't know what's the right term.
Inclined bar.
You have to step up to go to the bar.
It's a good enough phrasing.
And around it, you have table games.
Yes.
So not only is it a sports book, it's a place where table games are, and it's a elevated bar.
There you go.
That's the term I was looking for.
You just had to get used to
inclined bar. That wasn't right. That was a elevated bar.
But again, a nice job. I mean, the old sports book was one of the best ones in
I
Atlantic
liked
City.
it. It was a lot of fun.
That was actually, I think it was William Hill running that one.
Yeah.
This is now U.S. Bookmaking and Ellis Technology doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it looks pretty damn modern, pretty cool.
Oh, it's great.
And the two-story, I can't wait to get up to the second level and see what that looks like from above.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They had it roped off when we were there.
Yeah, it was kind of earlier in the day. So.
But I took a picture long shot that you can see. If you're watching on TV, we got some video rolling of all the different places.
I think we had some video of it.
But I took a long shot of the book from the one side, and you can see the upper level. I guess it's the VIP club or whatever they're going to call it there. So, but really, really interesting developed space. They're really beautiful looking. Both places, great jobs.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Well, we got a great show coming up for you. We got a Beatin The House segment. And this week, I'm interviewing Stephen Crystal from SCCG Management. Every week there seems to be a big deal in the sports betting industry or the gaming industry, and Stephen always seems to be involved in it. I mean, you heard about the Cincinnati Bengals sportsbook deal, the Betfred sportsbook deal, the stuff happening in Ohio and Maryland, and Stephen has all the information on that. Plus, I'm going to talk to him about the metaverse and some eSports and you name it in gaming and sports betting. Stephen Crystal knows all about it, and it's a really great interview. It's always great to have him back on the show. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
One thing the U.S. sports betting industry needs more of is parlays.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
okay,
parlays,
right.
parlays. It seems to be one of the biggest aspects of the sports betting industry that customers seem to love the most.
Speaking of parlays, the St. Louis Cardinals screwed up a parlay. I had a 6-leg parlay last week, and they're the only team I lost on because they allowed the Colorado Rockies to score 16 runs on them. So, well done, Cardinals.
Well, if that's any indication.
See, that's what parlays do to you.
Yes.
They sour you on a team. So
well, they don't sour you on a team.
Well,
come on.
I was shocked. I was horrified.
Well, if you like parlays.
And it sucked. It was one of the later games, too.
Well, hey, that's
great.
the worst part.
I was doing great all the way,
The worst part is when you do a parlay that involves a 10 o'clock game on the East Coast here.
I should have cashed out, so that's my fault.
But again, people love parlays. I mean, if you go state to state here, every time you see a sports betting report from different states, like we talk about in the book report, one of the things I've noticed is parlays take up somewhere between 30 to 40% of a sportsbook revenue.
Yeah,
I mean, I know in Jersey, in June, New Jersey parlays accounted for about 35, 36, 37 million. Of which is over half of what the New Jersey sportsbook revenue was anyway.
Well, what's that old saying? Parlays don't build bankrolls; they build sportsbooks. Well, they do.
Well, DraftKings is going to capitalize on that, and they're going to be marketing even more parlay features. I know right now they currently do the parlay insurance.
Sure.
If
a lot of people
leg falls,
sure.
If one leg fails, you still get your bet back in free bets. They also have the feature where if you have a parlay going, you can cancel one leg of the parlay and still have the parlay intact.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
so
that.
that's a nice unique feature of a parlay.
It is.
A lot of places don't offer that.
I know they have something new now with the same game parlays.
They will be launching.
Oh, they're going to be launching something new.
They're starting to put it together.
All right.
And again, I don't know the in-depth details of this, but they're planning on launching for their customers the ability to parlay same-game parlays together.
Okay,
you're going to be able to parlay parlays.
So, okay, I'm going to have a same-game parlay in one game, another same game parlay, another game, and I can parlay those two same games, so there'll be two legs of a parlay. Is that what you're talking about?
Again, each same game parlay would be an individual leg of a big old parlay.
This is getting complicated.
Well,
I need a flow chart.
The one thing I haven't seen any indication of in terms of what the minimum number of same game parlays you can put together is.
Okay.
I mean, you just said 2 same game parlays. What if it's 3 same game parlays?
Wow. Okay.
And also, what does the same game parlay have to be made up of? Can it be a 2-leg same game parlay?
So what is it going to
be? 3-leg? There's going to be like a whole mess of things going there.
Plus 10,000? Is that what the
again,
odds are going to be?
I think it really depends upon the individual legs of this huge parlay. The same game parlay.
You win that.
Odds,
you win that. You're making the Beatin The House segment of Turnpike.
Yes,
because that's impressive.
Honestly,
if that's what's going to happen, that'll be impressive.
And again, DraftKings is in the business of being the entertainment sportsbook. They've always said this. They don't want to be where the sharp bettors are. They want the customers there to have fun. I don't necessarily believe.
Look, I don't think any sportsbook wants a lot of sharp bettors. No. That's just bad for business.
No, he's speaking what the industry is thinking.
Well, yeah, he's saying the quiet part out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And even his statement, and everybody uses this quote everywhere, I really love how we are merchandising our same-game parlays, which I think have great personality. That's CEO Jason Robbins during the earnings call.
Look, same-game parlays are a lot of fun. Months ago, there was no such thing as a same-game parlay. Yes. I mean, but now it's great. It's a lot of fun, and they're popular because people like doing them. They're a lot of fun.
And again, when this launches, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this because, again, I don't know how the same-game parlay, how the leg of this huge parlay it has to be made up of. I think they got to figure that part out.
It's tough to explain. Can you imagine doing it?
Well, again,
do you imagine succeeding at
let me
it?
Let me
put it that way.
You're going to have people coming up with new strategies of how to do same-game parlays to include in this monster parlay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how they're going to market it too, a monster parlay.
Yeah, monster parlay. I like that.
So we'll see exactly what happens. But like I said, if you love parlays, you're going to get your fill of them from DraftKings pretty soon. So, but that's a great idea by DraftKings.
Exit 2.
Okay, we're going to get hungry during this eSports exit today.
Okay.
Faze Clan. Everyone knows who Faze Clan is, one of the most successful North American esports organizations out there.
Absolutely.
Known worldwide.
Yeah. Innovators.
They're
very innovative.
And they're going to continue their innovation.
Okay. So
they are launching what's called Faze Subs with DoorDash.
Oh, you mean like sandwiches?
Sandwiches. That's what I just said. We're
I like
going to get
that.
hungry.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Well, last week we had esports and tattoos.
Yes.
Now we have esports and sandwiches. Okay.
Well, we have esports sandwiches that are going to be designed by esports players.
See, that's great. I like that.
It's a very interesting concept, and I'm surprised no one's done this yet.
I'm not an esport player, but I would try this out.
Well, that's the great thing about this. If you go to DoorDash, which is going to be delivering them to you, they're not going to be in any stores.
Okay, they're no sub shop.
There's no Faze sub shop yet.
Okay.
But you're going to be able to go to DoorDash, order these Faze subs. They're designed by individual players of the organization in conjunction with virtual dining concepts. That's who's making the subs. So you're going to be able to get an entire range of sandwiches that you can choose from, and then order and have it delivered by DoorDash. It's not virtual. It's not.
That's what I was going to ask. I was wondering can you order them in the game and have them delivered in real life? I mean, if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, I hope that's still a game, and you pull your car over, you run into a sub shop and order a sandwich. Will it be delivered in real life?
Well,
is there that connection there?
I would assume both in the metaverse and also
in the metaverse they have casinos. Why don't they have sub shops in the metaverse?
You brought up Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto just launched their casino, by the way.
Okay, well there you go. What,
recently launched their
casino. Will they have a sub shop there where you can
I
order a
would
sub
assume
virtually and get it delivered in real life?
Now, when your avatar orders the sub in the metaverse, do you see your avatar eating on screen while you're eating your sandwich?
Why
I don't know, but
why not?
This is real life. This is outside the metaverse. Again, it's a different style of doing things. As a matter of fact, everyone was wondering what they would also do with DoorDash. They did a deal with DoorDash back in May. And it was just for home delivery for, while you're playing the tournaments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now this is actually a very interesting offshoot of this deal, or aspect of this deal.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know if anyone actually thought about this before, creating, we see all these different deals. We have energy drinks for gamers. We have food bars for actual protein bars, all that stuff. But I don't think they've ever done a sub business.
Yeah.
And
someone should do a survey. What's the big thing to eat if you're an esport player? I mean, being the age I am, what was it? Hey, is Hot Pocket still there? They want to pop a Hot Pocket in, or
for the
like
Atari group, Hot Pockets were.
Do you need something you can eat with one hand and play with the other, or what do esports players eat when they're playing?
Well, I still remember the South Park episode with the World of Warcraft, when Cartman yelled out to his mom to bring more Hot Pockets.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So,
but I don't know exactly. I mean, I would think maybe even like a burrito chain would be interested in doing something like this. Like Chipotle. With home delivery.
Keep one hand free.
Yeah, I mean, handheld food is the best thing to do when you're playing a game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just go to any poker room, and they love eating when they're playing. It's the most. It's the grossest thing in the world.
Well,
they have these little tables, and then they turn around and touch the cards and the chips and the.
You're not supposed to touch the cards. You're not really supposed to touch the cards when you're eating.
See, I just went off on poker players.
But again, they have other things, But again, Dash Days.
I would try this, even though I'm not an esports player. I would try this.
This is Faze subs through DoorDash, but they're also going to be doing Dash Days, which is a content series where viewers can actually participate and win rewards. I'm assuming for the subs, or for whatever else they're ordering through DoorDash. But again, they had a tasting day for the different subs. They went all out for this. This is actually a high end adventure with this virtual dining concept. So
that's a good idea.
I'm very curious to see where they take this next, because I wasn't expecting to see home delivery of esports player created subs.
That's a good idea.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly. Ding dong, Drizzly.
Exit 3.
Well, we're going from a first in esports to a first in the NFL.
Okay.
We have the Los Angeles Rams, the world champion, Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, announcing a deal with Dapper Labs to create the first season-long partnership for Dapper Labs and an NFL team to create a series of NFTs.
Okay. All right.
Now, these NFTs, the first ones, are going to be limited edition NFTs of the Super Bowl rings the Rams got.
Okay.
For winning the Super Bowl.
All right.
They're going to be available for purchase on the NFL All Day marketplace site, which is created.
I have no idea what that is. Okay, that's a creation. Okay, I thought that was an established
the NFL All Day marketplace.
Okay,
where you can purchase and trade and maintain your NFT collection.
Okay,
it's basically going to have several different versions of this. Each one's a limited edition, but they're going to have variations on what they're going to be designed for. They're going to range from $9, very cheap,
okay,
to $700.
Okay, what's the $700 one? Did they say yet what that is?
The Hall of Fame rings are the $700. That's the class.
Wow.
The Hall of Fame rings.
Okay,
$699 each. There's only going to be 500 available.
Now, when you say $699, it's $699.
Yeah, not $6.99.
Right? Not $6.99.
$699.
Okay,
only 500 of these available.
All right,
and they're going to unlock certain aspects of it, but they haven't released what they're going to unlock yet.
Okay.
But again,
well, let me ask you something.
500 available. That's very limited.
Aren't teams using NFTs as their tickets?
Some are, but a lot of the stadiums don't have the ability to accept those.
All right.
So you got to be careful when you buy an NFT ticket. But again,
well, that's a good point.
Yes,
that's a very good point.
Don't just buy an NFT ticket and think you're going to walk into a stadium.
Yeah, make sure you can use it to enter the game.
Exactly. So. But again, 3 levels. The starter ring. That's what they're calling the lower level ones.
That's the cheapest one you can buy.
$9.
$9. Okay.
Which actually is not bad.
I think it's a very good price for an NFT.
And there will be 5,000 of those available.
Okay.
The All-Star ring is going to go for $59.
Okay.
1,000 of those.
Which, by the way, is not
still
a bad price.
Still not bad for
Very
a collectible.
good. It's a collectible.
For a sports collectible, these aren't bad pricing. Even the $700 one
Sure.
is not a bad price for a Hall of Fame version of this NFT. They're going to be based on the real-life versions of the rings the players, the coaches, and staff got for the Super Bowl. I actually haven't seen the ring yet, to be honest with you.
Now, do the players, whoever got an actual ring, do they get an NFT for free, or do they have to buy them?
I don't know. That's
and they certainly could afford them. But,
I would assume these NFTs were made also. They have a certain select number set aside for the actual teams.
I hope so.
But if fans can go to, and I'm going to read the website off so people can go to it if they're interested, rams.nflallday.com. And they can actually sign up to purchase these.
Okay.
You can't just go in and purchase them right now. You have to join a queue. A line.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there's a line for these. They're already selling out.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
It's a process.
It's a process. And they're going to be the first set of collectibles. Again, this is the first time an NFL team has done a season-long deal with Dapper Labs.
Good.
They've done individual ones where you've actually seen favorite plays or almost like a Topps card kind of version of things.
Yeah.
But never season-long, because as the season goes along, they're going to do different NFTs.
Good.
They're going to have fans' favorite plays of the month during the season. So, like in October, if what's the receiver's name there? I keep blanking on him. The guy who won the Player of the Year or something. The receiver for the Rams.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. The fantasy.
I didn't know.
Guy. Yeah,
I didn't know where you were going with that one, but okay.
If he does a great catch and run, and all that, they're going to be able to make an NFT of that and sell it almost immediately. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they come up with. I mean, I know we talked jokingly in the past about, did they ever do an NFT of the Philly special?
I was thinking of that. I would get something like that. Well, depending on the price. I mean, I'm not spending God knows how much money.
This opens the door to a lot of additional revenue for the teams. I mean, they set records for revenue last year anyway. So
and you're getting and the fans are getting a collectible, which could increase in value.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in the old days when you found a rare football player card.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the old days. Okay,
in the old days, the old brick and mortar days of actually buying something.
I still have cards in a old shoebox.
Yes.
So yeah.
But again,
the old days.
This is actually interesting to see how these things are developing too. I mean, we talk about how other different areas are developing. NFTs are getting crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I ever get NFTs, I guess I would have to get a virtual shoebox.
Yes.
So
to
put all my NFT cards in.
Well, there's companies out there. As a matter of fact, there was a company out there that actually is just a vault for your NFTs.
Oh, okay.
You buy something, you purchase space in the vault.
Oh, okay.
And
so
you
it's
put your NFTs in there.
A virtual storage space,
yes,
huh?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but again, it's great to see this. I love this stuff, and it's a whole new avenue of collectibles.
Exit 4.
Last but not least today, we're going to be talking fantasy football.
Okay.
And not your everyday fantasy football.
I am horrible at fantasy
Hall
football.
of Fame fantasy football.
A Hall of Fame. Okay.
This is the second season of the Hall of Fame Villages Hall of Fame Fantasy.
Okay.
And it combines it's a combination of season long and weekly.
Okay.
Or
I think Michael Crawford, who is the CEO of this, was on the show and he talked about it.
Yes, and they're starting their second season.
Wow. Okay.
Emmett Smith is the commissioner.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's a new format combining both season long and week to week daily fantasy sports style fantasy sports football.
See, that's great.
That's unusual to see a combination like that. And it's great to see this is actually free to play.
Okay, good.
You go to the Hall of Fame website, and you go click on their fantasy league, and you can join. It's open to anyone 21 years or older.
Okay.
And it features a cash prize pool for this season of $75,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, free to enter? That's not bad. That's great. I might do that.
They even had a draft show that was actually broadcast on Sirius XM. It was also on the Hall of Fantasy League's YouTube channel. So it was actually a really full-blown draft that they were doing.
I'll check that out. Yeah.
It was hosted by Matt Camp, host of WWE's The Bump.
Okay.
That's one of the WWE's YouTube shows. podcast, whatever you want to call it.
Let me tell you, it sounds like fun. It's free to enter. What do you
Yes.
have to lose? And you get some prizes.
They've even expanded the number of teams.
All right.
They have 12 teams now.
Okay. So is it limited? I mean, I would think that everyone in the world would want to join this fantasy thing. So it would never fill up, right?
I don't know if it would fill up or not,
So,
but I would think there's room enough for anyone who wants to play.
So, okay, good.
But the 12 teams,
I'm definitely going to do it.
the Atlanta Hot Wings, which were last year's champion.
Okay.
You have the Denver Mile Highs,
All right.
New York Bodega Cats,
All right.
Philadelphia Powder Kegs, Seattle Hayes, Vegas Pocket Kings, Boston Barflies, Chicago Hog Mollies. I want to see what a hog molly is.
Yeah.
Green Bay Winter Haze, Los Angeles Sidekicks, the Ohio Goats, and New Jersey Boardwalkers.
Okay.
That's actually a cool name,
New Jersey
Boardwalkers.
Okay.
So, but again, it's it also one of the aspects of this fantasy league. They have these things called huddles, which is basically it's your franchise and it's a gathering
All right.
online that you can actually interact with other people and all that. And they've got 8 tiers of different participants. And a lot of the teams are run by fantasy football experts. So
Good.
you can actually go to them for insight on how to pick your
See,
team
that's
week
great.
to week.
Because I need
Yeah.
all the help I can get.
And there's a whole lineup of things that they're going to be doing for their customers. I think it's a great idea. It actually keeps people interested in the Hall of Fame as well as what the Hall of Fame Village is doing too.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very interesting because of, with the sports betting coming to
Yeah,
Ohio.
January 1st.
Yep.
I think they applied for a sports
Yes.
betting license.
Yes,
so
they
it should
actually
be-
are looking at mobile and retail.
Actually, did they deal with Rush Street?
Rush Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of this stuff is going to be really interesting to watch, especially as the Ohio market develops in terms of sports betting. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how far they take this too. I mean, are we going to start seeing NFTs brought into this?
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch. But it's great to see this succeeding for the Hall of Fame.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, stick around because later on we have a Beatin The House segment. But right after this, I'm talking with Stephen Crystal from SCCG Management. We're going to talk about all the big deals SCCG Management is involved with in the gaming and sports betting fields. And you've certainly heard about them in the news. They were part of the Cincinnati Bengals Betfred deal in Ohio, and they're doing some amazing stuff in the gaming industry and the sports betting industry. And we're going to hear all about it from Stephen Crystal right after this. So stick around. We'll be right back with Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weischadle with you here. It seems like every week there's a big deal being made in the sports betting or gambling industry. And right now we're going to hear from someone who has been a part of some of the biggest deals that you hear about in the news. Stephen Crystal is a returning guest and is CEO and founder of SCCG Management. And they are a company that is at the forefront of the ever-changing gaming and sports betting landscape. And we are lucky to have Stephen Crystal on the line with us right now. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be with you, Dave.
I'm so glad you came on because I'm just hearing so much about SCCG Management. And for people who are in the gaming and sports betting business, I mean, SCCG Management is something big that everyone follows. But for people out there who aren't familiar with the work you do, tell us a little something about SCCG Management.
Well, this year, actually, Dave, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary.
Wow.
In the gambling industry. So it's a big milestone for us. We started in the early days of riverboat gaming and Native American casinos back in the late 80s and early 90s in Kansas City, Missouri. And at that time, we were, part of crafting some of the early riverboat legislation, running the referendums. We were involved in the legal and regulatory side of the business. Over the years, we got into the operation side, owning and operating casinos in Las Vegas, and probably the most exciting time period in the history of SCCG has been the last 5 years with the legalization of gambling, with the Supreme Court decision regarding New Jersey, and the fact that now some 30 states across the USA have some form of legalized sports wagering or online casino. So it's definitely the most exciting time in the history of USA gambling.
Now, I want to ask you about some of the recent deals you did and were involved with. I mean, I know you work with one of my favorite sports books, and that is Betfred. I mean, they're absolutely legendary in the UK, and they're making huge moves in this country. I'm certainly going to ask you about some of the deals you worked on with them. But for people who aren't familiar with Betfred, what are you doing with Betfred, and what are their plans for the U.S.?
Look, Betfred is the largest privately owned bookmaker in the world. They operate over 1,500 betting shops in the UK and Ireland. They operate online in Spain, and they recently purchased the leading lottery provider in South Africa. So they are truly a worldwide brand. We brought them into the U.S. over 3 years ago, and what our strategy was to replicate some of what has made us successful in the UK over 50 years of bookmaking. One thing we did was to focus first and foremost on building excellent retail sports books. And we've built some of the nicest that exist in the USA today, including sports books in Louisiana, in Pennsylvania, in Arizona, in Las Vegas, in Colorado, and we're soon going to be opening up another 5 first-class sports books in states such as Maryland, Ohio, with the Cincinnati Bengals, which was a deal we recently announced, Indiana. I mean, the deals just keep coming. In total, we've done over 20 deals in 20 states for Betfred. And when you consider that we just started 3 years ago, we're not a household brand by any stretch, but we have a strategy, which is to leverage 50 years of experience in bookmaking, giving customers a chance to win. We just recently took $1 million bet from Mattress Mac, which got a lot of news. So we take the bets at Betfred, and we're doing partnerships with teams like the Bengals, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So we're basically replicating the successful formula that made us one of the UK's leading bookmakers over 5 decades, and replicating what works in the U.S. and doing it with a U.S. flair.
What made huge news in the past couple of weeks is your deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. I got to ask, how did that deal come into being? Were the Cincinnati Bengals looking for partnerships? Did Betfred reach out to the Cincinnati Bengals? How did that deal come into being?
I think it was a mutual. There was interest. I think Cincinnati Bengals is a family organization. It turns out I went to Dartmouth College with the granddaughter of Paulie Brown.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
I knew Katie from, we went to Dartmouth together. So there was a personal relationship there. But more importantly, the Bengals is a family organization, very much so. And they were looking for, similarly, for a bookmaking partner that also was a family business. And Betfred fit the bill. And so over the course of a year and a half, we navigated the very complicated NFL rules. We navigated the very complicated business structure. This is one of the largest deals from a sponsorship and market access standpoint done in the history of USA sports betting. And so over the next 10 years, we expect to grow just as the fortunes of the Cincinnati Bengals have grown. When we shook hands on the deal, they hadn't made the playoffs. And what I really admire about the Bengals is that they stuck to the deal, notwithstanding the fact that their stock went up significantly in value between the time we shook hands and the time we finalized the deal. That is a testimony to the type of business that they run at the Bengals.
Tell us something about the details of the deal, because people out there hear, a sportsbook made a deal with an NFL team. But what does that mean? Practically, what does that mean for the fans of the Cincinnati Bengals?
Look, from the fans, obviously they're going to see a lot of the partnership between Betfred and the Bengals, because as a practical matter, not only is Betfred the official sportsbook partner of the Cincinnati Bengals, but we are business partners. So in essence, the Bengals will share in a percentage of what we make as a partnership operating a mobile sports book throughout the state of Ohio and leveraging the brand that is the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Betfred is not a household name in Ohio, but the Cincinnati Bengals is. And so we're going to share in the upside together. Betfred is going to run an expert organization and bring top-notch technology to the state. The Bengals are going to bring their marketing assets and their intense relationship with their fan base, which is not only intense and loyal, but it's long-standing. And so I think the combination should result in Betfred being one of the winners in a very crowded field in the state of Ohio.
You know, doing this job for the radio as well as being a gaming attorney, I get to talk to a lot of the professional leagues, and without fail, when they refer to sports betting, they use the term fan engagement. Everyone loves that term. Now, I noticed in the press release that the partnership includes fan engagement activations, promotions, and also free-to-play games for the fans. Now, I know the sports betting in Ohio starts on January 1st, but will we be able to see Betfred's presence with the Cincinnati Bengals on the media outlets and the free-to-play games before January 1st? Because since no real money is involved in activities, do we have to wait for January 1st to play some free-to-play games for Betfred?
An excellent question. And, in fact, that's a major part of not only Betfred's strategy, but most of the sportsbook operators in the USA. And that is to use the time between approval of legislation, which occurred a couple of months ago, use the time between then and when bets can be taken, which, as you state, is at the end of the season, to engage with the fans, to get them accustomed to the branding, the type of activity that they'll be seeing when the apps go live. And so there are many tools that we use, but some of the tools include not only leveraging the digital databases
Sure.
and the digital assets and the content that the Cincinnati Bengals will sponsor. But as you mentioned, it will be free-to-play games. It'll be contests. It'll be different formats of free-to-play content that will engage the fan base and get them ready for what we hope will be an amazing experience when sports betting goes live in January.
I want to ask you about the deal process with an NFL team. One thing you have to be aware of, and I'm sure you are, is that they're part of the National Football League. And I'm very curious, was the NFL part of the process at all? Did the league itself have something to say about the terms of the deal? Did they ultimately have to approve of the deal? How does that work when you're dealing with an NFL team and the NFL is a major presence in the deal-making process?
Well, as you know from your previous shows and your expertise in the industry, NFL comprises almost 60% of the betting pie. So it's a big deal. The first hurdle that companies like Betfred have to get over are the data deals, the official data deals that they do with, in this case, BetGenius. Genius Sports owns the rights to the official data. The state of Ohio requires that official data be used. And so the first hurdle is to make sure that in the context of the economic deal struck between Betfred and the Bengals, that when you overlay what a company like Betfred has to pay for the official data, that the deal still pencils out, because no one wants to go into a deal that isn't going to make money for all parties. Okay, so that was the first hurdle. The second hurdle is obviously there's a myriad of NFL rules and regulations around how the deals must be structured from a participation standpoint, whether you can have retail sportsbook, which at this point you cannot, but in the future you probably will see some type of retail presence at the stadiums. And so, yes, the NFL does get to review in close cooperation with the Bengals the terms of the agreement so that the rules of the NFL are kept intact. And then there's a very lengthy legal process, as you would imagine, between the team's attorneys and Betfred's attorneys to make sure that a deal that is worth, almost 9 figures over 10 years basically crosses all the T's and dots all the I's. It is, in terms of the size of the transaction, it's akin, to buying a strip casino. This is how I would look at it. And I've been involved in some big casino deals in my life. This is similar to that process.
I want to ask your opinion on the Ohio sports betting market itself. I mean, it's scheduled to launch on January 1st. Tell us your opinion on the market. I mean, I expect it to be huge. I mean, they have 2 good NFL teams, great college teams, great baseball fans. The Columbus Blue Jackets just signed the top player in the NHL. I mean, this has the makings of an incredible sports betting market, maybe even a top 5 market in the U.S. You've closely looked at Ohio. What do you expect from the state when the sports betting industry launches?
I would say this. We have states like Virginia. Let's take Virginia, for example. It wasn't expected to be anything that would be, knock your socks off necessarily, and it has exceeded expectations. I think similarly, Arizona is exceeding expectations, and clearly Michigan is off the charts.
Sure.
We can talk about New York, but I tend not to talk about New York in the same way because of the high tax rate there, even though it's an amazing growth story. And of course, New Jersey has established itself at the top of the food chain in terms of performance of a market. But Ohio, Texas, Florida, California, all of them are expected to be blockbuster events. And so you have upwards of 35 licenses, which is a lot. But I think you're correct in saying that Ohio is expected to be a very robust market. It's a sports-loving market. It's got a lot of activity, both at the professional level and the college level. And so we're expecting it to be a market that outperforms even the very, good expectations.
Another state you did a big deal in is Maryland, again with Betfred. What plans does Betfred have for future operations in Maryland?
So that was an interesting deal. We were able to play to Betfred's brick-and-mortar strength by doing a deal with Long Shots OTB, which sits at the intersection of I-70 and I-270 in Frederick, Maryland, one of the fastest-growing cities in America. And so if you want to think of having the most optimal billboard in America sitting at that intersection, that's what our sports book will be. And so we're super excited about not only that retail location, but the opportunity to go statewide in Maryland. There will be up to 50 licenses granted in Maryland.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a state considerably smaller than Ohio. But I don't need to tell you, you've got, much like with Virginia, you've got socioeconomic demographics that should make that an excellent market from a handle sports betting performance perspective.
Now, in Maryland, are we talking about a temporary sports book right now? And what is the target date we can expect for the permanent sports book to be up and running?
The temporary book is expected to be up and running in September. All things, fingers crossed. These are very complicated projects because you cannot begin to deliver a project, a retail book, until the legislation and regulations are complete. And so it gives you a matter of weeks to execute. The permanent book is going to be a blockbuster for a sports book, even by Las Vegas standards. And so you're going to see the permanent book will be later in the season, but the temporary book is expected to be taking bets by September.
Now, I said Maryland was in the news recently because the governor of Maryland sent a letter to the gaming board telling them they maybe should hurry up with regard to the launch of online sports betting in the state. Now, you're familiar with the Maryland market. What can we expect from Maryland? When can everything be up and running? And what kind of market do you think Maryland will be?
It should. If you look at the casino market there, if you look again at the demographics, it should be an excellent market. It's not the most populous, but it is one of the richest markets in the country in terms of, economics. So we're expecting it to be a very good market. Obviously, the first movers will have an advantage, which is why companies like Betfred are really working very hard to get their brand established, to get their retail presence up and running, and to be ready, with their mobile app. I don't really have a comment on the speed at which regulators do their work. It's never a good thing to, I guess, unless you're the governor, it's never a good thing to comment on the speed at which regulators work. It is a massive undertaking to that, close to 50 companies that will be competing. And I guess I'm glad they have the job and not us. Let's put it that way.
Now, anyone in the gaming field has to be familiar with the terms metaverse and with the impact of eSports on the industry. I mean, recently, SCCG Management announced a partnership with J2M, which has to do with video games and the metaverse and eSports. Tell us something about that partnership and what can people expect as a result of the deal you made with J2M?
Excellent. So, Dave, over the last four years, SCCG has grown to the point now where it's representing in one form or another close to 100 B2B and B2C brands in 10 areas of the ecosystem around online gaming, sports betting. Esports is a major category, and it has been a focus of investment for SCCG, which also operates a venture fund, because we believe that the sports of the future, that which people will engage with, will be esports. And we can look at markets around the world where certainly during pandemic, esports was off the charts. But even after pandemic, in many parts of the world, esports is in the top 5 or 6 of overall categories that people will bet on. And so all you have to do is see the handwriting on the wall. And so we have invested in esports data. We have invested in esports affiliate marketing. We have invested in technologies that deal with branding and sponsorship and really tournaments, peer-to-peer wagering, direct wagering, anything that relates to how people interact with the content that is esports. And so it's a long play, but we're already seeing green shoots around the world where this is here to stay and growing year over year. As it relates to the metaverse, obviously the metaverse is really another name for Internet 3.0. Yeah. It's basically the ability to do everything we do in a two-dimensional world, in a three-dimensional world, and the fact that there's all kinds of technology, most of which, we're familiar with, that has been perfected over time, that allows you to visualize a 3D world and to interact with that world. The use case for gambling and gaming and sports wagering, when combined with the metaverse and overlay sometimes of using NFTs as a way to monetize, is an amazing use case for this new medium and this new set of technology.
Where I'm sitting here in New Jersey, people are now allowed to bet on esports, and I know Las Vegas esports is very popular, with Luxor there is a home base for a lot of esports tournaments. Tell me about your thoughts on where you see esports and sports betting. Where will that be in the near future? Do you see more states allowing betting on esports, and is that the future for sports betting industry?
I think it is the future for sports betting industry, and all you have to do is see where professional sports teams are investing their money in new franchises. They're investing in esports franchises because they see that as appealing to the future fan base. So all you have to do is follow the investment of people like the Dallas Cowboys. I could go down the list. The Philadelphia 76ers, almost every major league and every major sports team within those leagues have invested in some form of esports. So that should be your answer there. In terms of the future of the products, New Jersey is, as in many areas, the most progressive in terms of allowing betting on esports. I think other jurisdictions will be slow to adopt it, but as they get comfortable with the integrity issues or lack of integrity issues in esports, I think they will come on board. I also am supportive of technology that facilitates peer-to-peer wagering or skill-based gaming, where people can almost combine the best of poker with the best of esports and allow peer-to-peer challenges. I think that technology exists, and the way to regulate it exists. I think you'll see that proliferate as well in the USA. I think basically over time, esports will become, as a category, it could become the second or third largest category next to football, which still obviously dominates the landscape. But one day, I've heard people say they feel esports 10, 15, 20 years from now could be number one. And I don't think that's not impossible.
Well, speaking of the future of sports betting and the gaming industry, I have an office in New Jersey, but I also have an office in Massachusetts. And in terms of gaming and sports betting, you couldn't get two states further apart on the spectrum. New Jersey has an established sports betting industry, and Massachusetts just legalized sports betting yesterday. So in terms of gaming expansion, they're at two different areas on the spectrum there. But for expansion in the coming year, what states do you see making a jump to sports betting and gambling expansion for their legislation?
Yeah, the states that all you have to do is follow me on LinkedIn to where I'm traveling, and that'll tell you where the future is. I'm spending more time in places like Texas. I'm spending much time in California, which has a referendum in November.
Sure.
Florida will figure out the issue with the Seminoles at some point, and Florida will come online. Obviously, Florida, California, and Texas, those are the three big ones. And I do expect movement in the next 2 or 3 years in all of those places.
What are some of the big issues that we should be looking at in the coming year for the gambling industry? I know in this country is not in the best economic shape, and here in New Jersey, they're dealing with labor issues at the casinos. But what are the issues that we should be looking for in the coming year for the gambling industry?
I just did a piece for Gaming America which will be published in a couple weeks, about the fact that it appears the growth of iGaming and sports wagering is somewhat recession-proof. Now, a lot of that's being fueled by an extraordinary amount of spending on bonusing and promotions. So if you give people enough money, they're going to spend it. But even if you take that out, the growth is sustainable. The growth is palpable. You can see it month over month, state over state. And so I think in general, we're bullish about the future of the industry. It will, as more states approve online casino, the pie will grow even further. And I think I've always felt that at the end of the day, when we're done with the cycle, which could be another 5, 10, 15 years of growth, you're going to have an industry that rivals the defense spending industry. I mean, gambling has always been a major part of state budgets, but it's never been on par with the contribution that defense spending makes on a year-in, year-out basis. And I think that's where we're headed, in the triple digits of billions of dollars growth for online gaming. And so, yes, there are labor issues. There are issues about bonus abuse, and there will be issues about problem gambling, which technology in many respects can help address. There will be issues, as with everything, but overall the growth is astounding. The technological innovation and content innovation is amazing, and the industry couldn't be stronger.
Now, I was on your website, SCCGmanagement.com, and I was amazed at all the great things you're working on. What can we look forward to SCCG Management doing in the coming year? I mean, what projects are you excited about working on in the future?
I mean, there's really so many. Right now, we're really excited about bringing an AI-based CRM, customer relation management platform to the USA, Simplify, which is considered the best in the world, based in Sweden, and we're going to be bringing it to iGaming and sports wagering platforms in the U.S. We're bringing our own kiosk, our own sports betting terminal to bar tops and to retail locations. We're doing work on everything from geolocation to responsible gaming to virtual sports to table game content, slot studios from all over the world. I mean, there is no one we're now in 11 countries, feeding the best-in-class technology from around the world: Africa, India, Brazil, Latin America, Mexico, feeding all of that innovation back into the U.S., which is considered the most exciting market in the world right now. And there are others right behind it. India is opening up. Brazil is opening up. Latin America is opening up. I was just in Peru, where they legalized online gambling. So what we really need to think about is that this is a worldwide, really, evolution. And the U.S. was decades behind, but pretty soon the U.S. will be a leader worldwide in what is a worldwide phenomenon. And SCCG plans to just continue to grow its ecosystem and be associated with the best-in-class technology throughout the world.
Stephen, we're running out of time, but can you give out your website again and any social media address you have so people can keep up with what SCCG Management is doing?
Yeah, I think that just SCCGmanagement.com is where we have so much information on the industry, so much information on our brands that we represent, B2B and B2C, on our international offices, on our comings and goings, interviews, and content that we do on the industry. So if you want a one-stop shop for everything related to the gambling industry and the history and what the future looks like, SCCGmanagement.com is the place to go.
Stephen Crystal, founder and CEO of SCCG Management, thanks for coming on and telling us all about SCCG Management and the incredible deals you're doing in the gaming industry. It seems like I'm reading about you every week, so don't be a stranger. Come back on and keep us updated about what you're doing. Thanks for taking the time and talking with us.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. And House of Cards is amazing. You do an amazing service to the industry, and thank you for what you do.
Thanks a lot, man. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
With Drizzly, I can shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly also lets me shop from multiple stores in my area and compare prices on thousands of products.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
People gotta win sometimes.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of Beatin The House. I'm Doug Weischadle with co-host Dave Weischadle here. This is the segment where we crisscross the country going through the different casino jackpots, lottery jackpots, bad beats, Pie Gal poker seems to be a big one we do every so often.
Do we have a Pie Gal this week?
We do not have a Pie Gal this week.
All right.
So we do have a table game to talk about, but again, this is all the different
before we can get to it,
various gaming jackpots, all the different areas of the gaming industry.
Let me predict the table game. Most, if not all, of the jackpot was won on a side bet. Was it? Yes.
On the table game?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say yes.
Yeah, okay. Figure.
So
any table game jackpot you have, usually there's a side bet involved.
I thought you were gonna say you were gonna guess the name of the first slot machine.
No.
But again, okay, we're gonna start off this week. Win Las Vegas. And not a lot was released about this win at Win. A patron hit a $1.5 million jackpot.
I saw this on Twitter. Yeah.
Yep. $1,588,190.42, a progressive jackpot on a Dragon Link slot machine. Win Las Vegas, $50 bet.
Wow.
I'm actually shocked that you can do some of these size bets on some of these slot machines, to be honest with you. I remember growing up, we were talking nickel slots were actually just a nickel sometimes.
These high roller rooms,
yes.
These you can almost bet whatever you want.
Yes.
In these machines.
Well, that's actually becoming an industry within itself. A lot of these casinos are developing high-limit slot rooms. Matter of fact, I saw one down in Atlantic City the other day.
Yeah, Ocean Resort has one.
I think it was called the Cove.
That's right, yeah.
It's a high-limit slot machine.
I forgot the name of it.
It's just a room there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bally's has the Lightning Link
It's a nice-looking
Lounge.
room, yeah.
Yep. Bally's Lightning Link Lounge. You've got a whole bunch of different things. I know a couple casinos have developed the Buffalo brand rooms, where it's just all the Buffaloes, the Aristocrat-linked Buffalo games.
Well, Bally's has a Lightning Link Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's interesting to see how some of these are. This is an offshoot of the Lightning Link, Dragon Link.
Okay.
In fact, so,
all right.
But again, $50 bet, $1.588 million progressive jackpot. I'm assuming the win and the encore out there are linked together for the progressives.
I don't know how that works.
So I have to check into that one. Staying on the West Coast but leaving Las Vegas, we're going to Lincoln, California.
Where is Lincoln, California?
It is in Southern California.
I guess so, yeah.
The Thunder Valley Casino Resort.
All right. I've heard of that. I didn't know it was in Lincoln.
The casino announced that Roberto A. was the winner of $1 million jackpot worth $1.5 million. Two $1.5 million
yeah. What's
jackpots.
the 1.5 thing? It's
this one was
a trend.
This one he won a little less, $1,538,000 instead of $588,000. $1,538,738.97.
Okay.
This was a massive jackpot, according to the casino.
They like that word.
They love that word.
They use that word a lot in press releases.
Yes.
Massive.
Actually, if you see press releases, you see Facebook posts, and you see Twitter posts, the word massive next to jackpot kind of go hand in hand.
The PR companies must have done a survey. Massive is a good trigger word.
Yes.
Everyone loves the word massive.
This was a massive jackpot.
Massive.
On the Dancing Drums Explosion slot machine. They have a credit entry of 1 cent. I know it was not a 1 cent.
No.
So
it's probably a 1 cent line.
And every slot machine in the casino, according to Thunder Valley, is wired into their Thunder Strike jackpot, which can strike on any slot at any time, which this was.
Wow. Okay.
So that's another feature that a lot of the casinos have. Besides the normal progressive jackpots that they offer, a lot of them tied into a casino-wide progressive.
Okay.
And this is an instance of what the Thunder Strike jackpot is. It's any slot machine is part of it. So that's kind of interesting how they can link every slot machine together.
Well, with today's technology, sure, you can.
So, but again, congratulations to both the unknown patron in the win and Roberto over at Thunder Valley for the 2 huge jackpots of the week.
Okay.
Going to the East Coast, we have Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, Encore Boston Harbor, huh?
We have been doing a lot of Encore Boston Harbor jackpots.
Apparently, they're paying off there.
Yes.
Loose slots, huh?
Well, they're, if I remember correctly, every time we see the Mass Gaming Commission's reports, Encore is constantly setting revenue records and handle records.
I said they had loose slots, but was it a slot machine that someone won?
No, this is blackjack.
Oh, okay, good, blackjack.
So the slots are still loose. They just didn't pay this guy.
Now the table games are going now, huh?
A patron by the name of Terrence,
right,
was playing blackjack, and he did the Super 4 side bet.
Oh, another side bet.
Well, we've seen the Super 4 before.
Sure.
Super 4 is you take your 2 cards, you take the dealer's 2 cards, and make the best poker hand.
Yeah.
He won $648,663 with the Super 4 side bet playing blackjack at Encore Boston Harbor.
Great.
As a matter of fact, I remember seeing the picture that Encore tweeted out of the patron standing next to the sign that's over the table, and you could see the Super 4 in big letters. So always look for some of these side bets, people, because those are the ones that pay. And whether it's Pai Gow, whether it's other table games, the side bets not only add an extra game of chance to it, but you can also increase your winnings.
Well, usually you win more than the actual hand.
Well, sometimes I've seen, like in Pai Gow, there's that one side bet that not only do you win the hand, but you get like an extra $5,000 for a side bet. Some of them are not big, relatively big, not relatively big, but some are huge too. And this was one that triggered the $648,000 for Terrence.
Okay.
We're going to the online site BetMGM for our next 2 jackpots.
Okay.
One in Michigan, one in Ontario. BetMGM player from Battle Creek, Michigan, won $361,652 on the in-house game MGM Grand Millions. It's a 5-reel, always online slot machine that was developed specifically for BetMGM, and you will only find it on the BetMGM website.
Yeah, if you go to these online casinos, they sometimes have a section that's exclusive to them. They get exclusive slots at BetMGM, so you can go there.
I've noticed a lot of the different developers are starting to get their own sections in some of these online
casinos.
Well,
you can
Ainsworth is one of them.
You can go online and search the manufacturer.
Yes.
On these casinos, if you want to play an IGT game, you just search IGT and they'll give you the whole list of games that you can play on the thing.
Yes, and it's
Aristocrat
it's great
has
seeing
that, and it's everything.
MGM Grand Millions. One little note on that: in their press release, they mentioned that the MGM Grand Millions offers 243 possible ways to win in the base game, and then 1,024 ways to win in the free spins mode.
Okay.
So there's 2 levels to that game as well. Staying with BetMGM, like I said, we have 2 jackpots to talk about, both online.
Okay.
This is in Ontario.
All right.
We've got a jackpot of $107,437.53. That's U.S. dollars. The Canadian version of that was $138,951.80 Canadian.
Okay.
The player in Ontario was playing Pragmatic Plays Big Bass Splash slot title.
I'm assuming that's a fish-themed thing?
It's a bass fishing theme.
Oh, bass fishing? Okay.
Bass fishing theme. It's got all these different things. It's got
so that's online,
flies,
okay.
Yeah, the flies you use to catch the bass.
Well, I have a BetMGM account. I
Take a look at it.
wonder if I should. It's in Ontario, right? But I maybe New Jersey still has that big bass splash. I'll take a look for it.
Again, I have to take a look because when you log on to some of these, if you're not in the province or in the state,
sure,
or the jurisdiction, the best way to put it, you don't see what the other jurisdictions have.
Yeah.
And
I'll take a look.
I'm assuming Pragmatic Plays games appear in a variety of jurisdictions, not just Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
But again, two jackpots online for BetMGM, Michigan, Ontario. Congratulations to those players. We're going to go back to the East Coast and go to Atlantic City.
Okay.
Borgata, to be exact.
Oh, all right.
We have 2 jackpots totaling $382,000. The first one was $100,000 playing Gaming Realms Borgata Slingo Extreme, the Triple X Extremes.
Right.
That's actually in the casino. $100,000. Player, the second player hit a $282,000 jackpot. A player hit $282,000 on Next Gen Gaming's Wild Play Super Bet slot machine. That's in the brick and mortar. So 2 Atlantic City jackpots to talk about. Matter of fact, if you tune in next week, we'll have our Atlantic City rundown.
Okay.
Of all the different jackpots. We do that every other week because the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement doesn't do it every week, where they update the spreadsheet of jackpots given out in 2022. So congratulations there. We're going back out to Las Vegas for this one.
Okay.
Aliante Casino. As a matter of fact, the formal name is the Aliante Casino Hotel and Spa.
And Spa, okay.
Lucky Local. I love when the locals win.
Oh, it's always great when the locals win.
Won a jackpot of $125,468. He's a patron of the Aliante, visits often, according to the press release. He was playing Light & Wonder's Dancing Drums slot machine. Not the Explosion.
Okay.
The original version, Dancing Drums.
All right.
On a Saturday evening and hit the progressive jackpot after placing a bet of $8.80. It's an interesting number, $8.80. I wonder if that was what was on the ticket he inserted.
Yeah, right.
So, but again, and again, winner requests to remain anonymous. Congratulations to whoever won that, but it was a lucky local, so that was great to see. We're going out to Colorado next for our last casino jackpot.
Okay. I can't find the big bass thing on the BetMGM thing.
Well, you should look for the Pragmatic Play and see where it's available.
Oh, okay.
So Pragmatic Play. These sites have companies have all their websites.
We were talking about the exclusive games. They have an exclusive game, Ben-Hur.
Really?
So if you like, I guess, what is it? The chariot racing, I guess. You like Ben-Hur slot machine.
I know BetMGM also has the
kind
Jets.
of biblical, huh?
I know BetMGM in Jersey has the Jets roulette.
They have a ton of Jets stuff.
And yeah, they have a Slingo, a blackjack, and a roulette.
Yeah, they also have 76ers games.
In Pennsylvania, I think they have the Steelers.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody else, and I think Unibet has Eagles.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing with team-branded games, which are pretty cool to see. But going back to this week's segment here, we are going out to Cripple Creek, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
the Wildwood Casino. We have a 32-year-old Kansas man named Brian.
Okay.
Won $100,166 playing the Buffalo Blackjack machine at Wildwood Casino.
Now, what is this, a slot machine?
It's a table game.
It's a table game.
Yes.
Boy, everything's Buffalo. What's the Buffalo thing? There's Buffalo slot machines. There's Buffalo Blackjack now. What's going on with Buffalo?
I would assume it has something to do with
is that
the
a lucky
Native American lore
kind of
thing.
a lucky animal kind of thing? All right.
It was a blackjack progressive bet. Got a suited 3 of a kind with 3 aces of spades, which landed him the jackpot of $100,000.
Okay.
The chance of getting that hand, according to the casino, is 1 in $250,000.
Wow.
Now, the one other thing I noticed in the press release, and I had to look this up because it was just such a unique claim. Wildwood Casino is the highest casino in the world.
You mean altitude-wise?
Altitude-wise.
Okay. Well, I guess they're in the Rocky Mountains.
They are located. They had according to the casino, they had a professional survey done, and the gaming floor is at 9,593 feet above sea level, making it the highest casino in the world.
Wow.
That's
in the world?
In the world, they
claim.
In
the world,
yes.
Okay.
So, but again, congratulations to Brian from Kansas, who won the $100,000 playing the Buffalo Blackjack at Wildwood Casino.
Wow.
The previous big jackpot from Wildwood came in June, by the way, and I'm including this story just because of the game.
Okay.
The Wildwood Casino celebrated a Colorado Springs resident hitting $568,319 playing the Hobbit slot machine.
Now, is the Hobbit slot machine based on the movie or the actual book of?
Okay.
I mean, I'm just asking. I don't know. I've never seen the Hobbit.
It's based on the Peter Jackson movies.
Okay,
not the Rankin Bass cartoons that used to be there.
Right.
So, but I wish someone would do those.
Or they just adapt it from the book.
Well, again, it's from the movie because they have scenes of music from the movie.
When everyone's doing TV shows and movies,
yes.
have there been any slot machines based on an actual book or a novel or anything like that?
No, because it's easier to take the scenes from the movies.
I know.
And the music and everything.
I'm just curious.
But I've never seen one done based on a book.
No. If someone knows that, email us.
I mean, I've seen info at turnpikesportsradio.com.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
But I've seen Wizard of Oz games, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but they're all based upon the movies and not the actual books.
Yeah.
So, I'm waiting to see Where the Wild Things Are type of slot machine come out from Roald Dahl there. Last story for the week: North Carolina lottery.
All right.
North Carolina woman learned over the phone about her jackpot.
Wow, who was she on the phone with?
According to the story, the lottery commission called her.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they do that.
This is why I'm including the story. It's a very interesting story. She thought it was some kind of scam.
Well, yeah, I would guess.
Yeah.
Right first off, I don't know I didn't know the lottery commission calls anyone, so I would think it's a scam too.
Well, she thought, this was a scam, and she said it can't be real. So she basically called the lottery commission back.
Smart, very smart.
And found out that she won $146,052 in the second chance drawing game.
Wow, good for her.
Now, I'm assuming that's the reason they called her, because I don't know how they do the second chance drawing game in North Carolina.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's not televised. Yep. I would assume an email would have gotten to her, unless she doesn't have email.
The big takeaway from this story is that the lottery commission actually called someone.
Yes.
So it's very interesting.
But I guess this is a person that may not have had a cell, text, email.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I don't know how old this.
It's hard to imagine someone now
was.
in this day and age, but I can see that point.
Yeah. But she actually took she called him back, got the notice, and won the $146,000.
Wow.
So congratulations to her for actually following through on that one.
And you know what? Good for the North Carolina Lottery Commission. They went. I think they went over and above getting this woman her money.
My question would have been, how many times would they have tried to reach her?
Yeah.
So, but congratulations to all our winners this week. Again, casinos, lottery commissions. Please keep sending in your press releases. Love getting them. Love talking about the different games, the various jackpots. Info at turnpikesportsradio.com is the email address for the press releases to be sent to us.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.